What's up, everybody? This is my first time doing a live from this area, so I hope you guys can hear me okay. I hope the view. Go ahead and excuse the weightlifting equipment in the background. I'm in my garage. My kids are napping right now, so I don't think that you want to. Hear them screaming. So when they wake up, at least. So the purpose of this video is I'm actually running some quotes for life insurance, and a lot of times people don't know how much life insurance is going to cost. So if you're interested in how much life insurance would cost for you, go ahead and drop your date of birth or your age down below, and I'll go ahead and run that. But actually, I'm going to start off and I'm going to run a life insurance quote on myself. And the title of this video, this live, is if you have any debt, then obviously watch this. And the reason is because if you have debt and something were to happen to you or your spouse, whoever makes the money in the household, if something were to happen to you, what situation would your spouse be in? And so really that's the whole purpose of this video. I know that if I passed away, my wife would be in some big trouble. 2 kids, 2 on the way, the house here, obviously we have a mortgage, and that's pretty much the debt that we have. But I'm running some life insurance quotes, and I just want you guys to see how cheap it is. So I'm running it on myself. Some of you that are watching, you might be my age. I'm 28, male, Delaware. I'm obviously wanting to pay monthly. Again, if you are interested in running quotes for yourself, just drop your age down below and I'll run a quick quote and tell you the best scenario. I currently have on myself $500,000 for 30 years, and I got that about a few years ago, so it's about 24 bucks a month. So if I died today, my wife is going to get $500K. It's going to pay off our mortgage, obviously the cost to bury me, which I don't want anything extravagant. I've already told her. Obviously you say that, but it's not like I could really do anything at that time to tell her otherwise. But I was able to get a preferred best rating when I got life insurance a few years ago. I'm actually going to run it now. It's based off my height and weight and some other factors based on my health. So I'm just going to put my weight in here now. I've gained a little bit of weight. I'm 5'10", about 200 pounds. I know I need to get to the gym. I don't use tobacco. That's a factor when running a life insurance quote. So I'm looking at quotes now. I'm running it on myself. I'm 28, male, non-smoker, 30 years, 500,000. I'm looking at paying, it looks like, I could still barely get the preferred best rating, but I'm looking at paying $32 a month. So that's like $1.08 a day for life insurance, which is super cheap. Now, females, based on mortality charts, which is what all of this is based off of, they say that women live longer than men. So I'm just going to check female instead of male just to see what the prices come out to be. So if this was a 28-year-old female, I'm going to take out the 5'10", 200 pounds, and I'm just going to go ahead and select preferred best so I can compare them. So for me, it would be $32. I pay actually less than that because I got it a few years ago. But if you're a 28-year-old female that's in very good health, no criminal background, this is, of course, assuming that you don't have, like you're not a scuba diver or something like that, a female is going to pay $24 a month. So less than $1 a day. So for a female, if you're 28 years old, you could get $500,000 worth of coverage for 24 bucks. That's less than $1 a day. So I stressed this, a few minutes ago. If something were to happen to me, my wife doesn't work, even if she did work, I can't imagine what it would be like. And people do this, they have, single parent, they're working, they have children, they're working full time. Like, it's tough. Like, I don't know what it's like, so I'm not going to pretend like I do, but I'm sure it's tough. And so if something happened to me, my wife would have to get a job. She will have 4 kids, so there's daycare. So why work at that point, right? So you've got daycare until they go to public school. It would just be really, really tough. Mortgage, funeral expenses, and then you have kids' college if they choose to go. I'm just going to play around with these numbers for a second. Let's just say a 32-year-old female what is it, 1985? Yeah, 1985. Let's just, a female, 32 years old, in good health. I'm just going to start going up in age. So a couple more years, you're looking at $29 a month. And let's say, someone says, hey, Ryan, I don't need $500,000. Maybe you just need $250,000. Maybe you have a mortgage. That's all you have. I'm going to drop this number down to $250,000. Because some people just have their mortgage, and sometimes their mortgage isn't even $250,000. So you've got $250,000 here, female, 32 years old, and I'll show you these rates actually. So let's see here. So this is on my computer. You got some different carriers here: Foresters, AIG, Banner Life. Look, $250,000, 30 years, preferred best, non-tobacco. You're looking at $18 a month. I know people, I probably spend $18 a month at least in buying coffee in different places, here, there, and everywhere, different times of the month. I mean, two people, you can get a 2 for $20 at Applebee's for less than 20, or for $20. So for $250,000, that's, I think, what my wife has on her 30 years, $250,000. She's a little younger, so for her it's like $14 a month. I'm actually going to drop this, the amount of years. Let's just go with, let's do 30 year. Let's just say someone's coming right out of college. What year would that be? I'll reset on me. Give me just a second. I'm going to put in my wife's. Actually, my wife's 25. So let's say 1995 would be someone who's coming out of college. So 22-year-old female in the state of Delaware. Let's just say, let's say someone's getting married. Maybe they're having a child. So 250,000, 22-year-old female. And this is, let's do the female first. Good health, right out of college. You're going to lock this rate in. That's one of the benefits of term life insurance, is you lock this in for so long. $250,000, female, 22 years old. You're looking at $16 a month for $250K. Now I'll say this, I didn't have life insurance before I got married, but I should have. How great would it have been to say to my wife, hey babe, here's another reason to marry me. I got life insurance. Obviously, that may not be your best opening line, and if she does bite on that, then maybe she shouldn't, maybe she's not the one. But, for a male coming right out of college, 22 years old, 30 years, $250K, you're looking at $19 a month. And so that's a great way to tell your future wife, hey, you know what, I care about you, I love you, I care about the financial situation that you would be put in if something were to happen to me. And a lot of the reasons why people get life insurance, I mean, and she might be watching this, but there was a lady we signed up a few weeks ago. She's 55 years old. She is in great health. We got her a 30-year policy. Actually, I'll just go ahead and put that in here. 25 plus 40 years. What is that? 1965. Yeah, so 1962. We'll do that. This lady, she is 55 years old, and she got a policy. I think she's paying like $1,000 a year, and that is nothing when you're 55 years old for $100,000 worth of life insurance. So I'm going to put her age in here. I think it was 1962 was the year she was born. So she's 55. She's a female, and for some reason this thing keeps kicking me off. So, but she's paying $1,000 a year. And she has $100,000 worth of coverage for the next 30 years. So I can't imagine what situation she's going to be in. When she's 85 years old, she's going to be telling all of her buddies, I don't know if she's going to be in a nursing home or what her situation will be in at that time, but she's going to be telling people at the age of 80, 81, she's paying $1,000 for life insurance at that age. And people are going to be saying, how in the world are you only paying, you're paying like $70 a month at that point. I think it's $79 a month. How in the world did you get that? And maybe she'll throw my name out there one day and say, hey, someone signed me up for life insurance at that time. And so we have products for everybody. We have products for people who have tried to get life insurance before and they couldn't get life insurance. Those are called final expense, where there's pretty much no underwriting, just a series of questions. And then also for people who are 18 years old, coming right out of high school, and that's really the time to get term life insurance, is when you're young, you're super healthy, and it's only a couple bucks a month. Thanks, JD. I see your comment. Appreciate that. And so that's the time to get it. When you're young, you're super healthy. I know a lot of people who waited, they drug their feet on it, they didn't get life insurance when maybe they should have, and now their health it might be declining, so they're actually going to pay more because the health insurance or the life insurance carrier is more concerned with that person dying. So I'm going to go in here, 55-year-old female. This is somebody that we signed up for $100,000 worth of coverage. Let me just edit this because I think she had like a standard plus rating. But she got a 30-year term and she's 55 years old. So I mean that's that's one of the benefits of getting life insurance when you're healthy. So here I'm showing this is standard plus, so it must have been a standard rating that they received. And these can change from month to month because these carriers are updating their prices. So $67 a month. I think it was shy of like $1,000. Might have been like $900 a year. But you can definitely see how she's in great shape for the next 30 years. Now, one of the benefits of working with someone like myself, or really what I am is I'm an independent agent. I don't work for a big captive company. I'm appointed with a ton of different companies. In fact, I think it's like 67 different life insurance companies. And so, I'm pretty much appointed with everybody. And so what that means is a lot of times people are focused on lowest cost. They want to make sure that they can get the best rate. And so as an independent agent, there's really nobody that can beat the rates that I can offer because we can either match them or beat them. So we replace people's policies all the time with different captive agencies. I won't name some of them, but pretty much when you think about who you have your auto and home with, a lot of those types of companies, they offer life insurance products, and a lot of times they're not as competitive. They don't have as great of rates. And so that's one of the benefits with working with an independent agent. Another reason that's great about working with an independent agent, or at least myself, is I'll tell you now, I answer my phone all the time. My wife hates it. But I always answer my phone. I don't care if it's a 1-800 number, it could be a block number. I just always answer my phone. One, because I always think that it might be a client, somebody that needs assistance. With insurance, you're always working with, deadlines and making sure that everything's in on time, especially through open enrollment. And so we want to make sure that we don't hit those deadlines. So, I've answered my phone, in the middle of the night before, in the evenings, weekends, I always answer my phone. And so that's another benefit of working with us, Cornerstone Insurance Solutions, is that we put the client first. We want to make sure that the client's best interests are at our heart. So I'm going to edit these quote details again. Again, for myself, January 29th, 1989, male, Delaware. I'm just going to put in here $250,000 worth of life insurance for 30 years. I'm in decent health right now, so for $250,000, I'm looking at $20 a month, less than $1 a day. Should be like 80 cents a day. For a female, it's a little bit cheaper. So a 28-year-old female in Delaware, assuming that they're in great health, no criminal backgrounds, no avid scuba diving or aviation, anything like that. A female, it's $16 a month. This is about what my wife pays. I think she's like locked in at $13 or $14 a month because she's a little bit younger than I am. But for $10, $12 a month, you can get $100,000, $250,000 worth of coverage. So really, I just wanted to hop on here. I wanted to talk a little bit about term life insurance. There is one other thing I do want to talk about. If you're not in the best health, maybe you're a little bit overweight, maybe you're a smoker, it will be a little bit more expensive. So, for example, a 28-year-old female who smokes, let's say she's in good health, but she does smoke, she's going to be paying a little bit more. So before I told you it was $16 for the 28-year-old female for 30 years. Now it's looking like it is $43. So you drop a class, and then they also add on additional money for the smoking. And it goes the same for guys if they chew tobacco or something like that. So depending on your health, will pretty much determine the rate that you get. But like I said, while you're young, while you're in great health, before the high cholesterol comes, before the high blood pressure, even if you have high cholesterol and high blood pressure, as long as they're being treated, the carriers really don't care about that. But if you were to be diagnosed with something, maybe cancer or something like that, God forbid, then you're definitely going to be looking at paying higher rates and potentially not getting coverage at all. So there are some options. They're just very, very expensive at that point. So, so yeah, 28-year-old male. Let's go ahead. I'm going to put $1 million in here. You know, some people, price is not an issue, and that's the thing. The price that people are willing to pay for life insurance is so relative. You know, $20 for one person might be very tight with the budget that they have. Whereas for somebody else, they might be paying $100, $200, $300 a month. We have clients like that as well. So for myself, if I wanted to get $1 million worth of coverage for 30 years, locked in, I'm 28, so that would take me to the age of 58, I'm looking at paying $57 a month. I could probably replace the policy I have with this policy today, knowing that my health hasn't declined. I could get $1 million for my spouse. She would be the beneficiary. She would get $1 million if something happened to me, and it would only cost me $57 a month. And some people say, hey, you know what, that's a lot of money. And honestly, $57, you know, I may not be able to look for that in my budget, but I tell you what, if it was important to me, the first place I would check would be my budget and say, hey, what can I cut out of my budget to make sure that I can get this type of life insurance for my family? So a lot of times price isn't an issue, and if it is, you know, you just play with the numbers. I'm going to edit these quote details. Let's say I want $1 million, but instead of a 30-year term, maybe I've only got a 15-year mortgage. You know, maybe I only need term life insurance for the next 15 years. So let's say I want $1 million for the next 15 years. I'm looking at $24 a month. And so, you know, the life insurance carrier is really only worried about the later years in my life. They're not so much worried when I'm younger. But if I just wanted $1 million of life insurance for the next 15 years, it would only cost me $24. And of course, the goal is, as you get older, hopefully the debt decreases and you start accumulating some wealth for your family so that you don't actually need term life insurance anymore. Maybe you've gotten out of debt and you've started to accumulate wealth to the point where term life insurance just isn't really a need. It's so cheap that even if somebody has no debt, they can pick a policy up like this, because the other aspect of debt protection to cover your debt if something happened is wealth creation. You know, it would not be enough for me today. If something happened to me, it would not be enough just for me to pay off the debts of our home. I would want to create some wealth for my wife, because even if she didn't have a house payment anymore, you still have the cost of living. You still have children who are going to grow up and have needs and things like that. So it's not enough for me to just cover my mortgage and be done with it. I needed to add on an extra couple $100,000 to create some wealth for my family, so that if something did happen to me, my wife would be able to maybe work. Obviously, she'd have to make some adjustments in her life, but you know, we wanted to have an amount that's so substantial that she could just kind of draw off of that each year, or maybe even invest it in wisely, so that you know, she could live off a couple percentage points of that. So just wanted to hop on here. Term life insurance is one of the services that we have. In fact, we have a special now for the $99 comprehensive written financial plan, which we're doing. My dad is actually doing them out of Virginia, and I'm going to be doing them here soon. But the purpose of that is to really create a written financial plan for somebody, because we want to help people make work optional. And just to let you guys know, I did that a few months ago, or a few weeks ago, and I put in everything that I wanted to have, when I was 60, 62, 65. When I get to that age, everyone has a thought in their mind as to how much money that they want to save up for retirement so that they can live off of. And part of the plan that was created, number one, it said that I was going to live until the age of 96. Part of that is a longevity study, which tells you based on your lifestyle and how you live. At this rate, it's saying that I might live to the age of 96, which is kind of scary. It was great, I'm sure, but I kind of questioned it, so maybe 86. But regardless, if you're going to retire at 66 and you're going to live to 86, 96, that's 20 to 30 years where you better have a plan as to if you're going to work, if you're not going to work. So there's it's a lot to think about and make sure that you've planned adequately for. So what I did is I put a number in the system of how much money I wanted to have. I put in all of my investments, my 401k, my annual income and things like that, and how much I'm putting away per year. And when I ran through it, it came out to say that there was only a 19% chance of me meeting my financial goals. And also, if I didn't change something, that I would run out of money in 6 years. And so that was kind of scary, right? You have these financial plans that you're going to, that you're going to work hard, you're going to do X, Y, Z in order to save up money so that you can make work optional one day. And next thing you know, you find out that, hey, at the given rate I'm going to run out of money 6 years after I retire or stop working. And so as the head of the house, that's kind of scary. So, we were able to create an action plan so that now I know that if I stick to this action plan from now until retirement age, or what I like to call making work optional, because a lot of people still like to work, now I know that when I hit that age, I'm going to 100%, as long as I follow this action plan that we created, there's a 100% chance or probability of me achieving my goals and not outliving my money, which I don't think anybody wants to do. Nobody wants to be in this scenario where they're not working and they run out of all of their money. So that's another thing that we do is the $99 written financial plan. Along with that, we review all of your life insurance. We review your health insurance with you every year, free of charge, of course, to you. And most times when I review someone's life insurance, on average, I can save them about $5 to $10 per month. And so there's $50 to $100. So the plan pretty much pays for itself, the written financial plan that we create. So again, it provides awareness so that you know that you're going to be able to achieve your goals. You get the action plan, and then also you can go in and monitor how you're doing every year after that. And of course, it's an annual charge, so we would charge you $100 each and every year. But if I were to continue at the rate that I'm going without ever checking to see if I'd be successful or not, without measuring it against something, and I wonder how many people are like that, right? How many people go through life, they think they're working hard, they think they're doing a great job, but then when they actually measure it up to software that actually tells you, whether you're going to be successful or not, and it factors in inflation and interest rates rising and things like that. When we actually compared it to that, I was blown away. I thought that I was doing a great job and that I'm saving adequately, but how many people go through life and go into the golden years of their life, the retirement years, the time when they want to make work optional, and they realize that, hey, I've got to keep working because I can't afford life the way it is. And so, again, that's the $99 written financial plan, and we handle all of your term life insurance, your health insurance, and a lot of times, just by reviewing the term life insurance, it pays for itself because we can usually replace people's policies and save them some money. So, again, that's why I wanted to hop on here. If you're just jumping on now, I was talking in the beginning about life insurance, term life insurance, and really just running some different quotes. If you want me to run a quote for you, go ahead and drop your email down below or just private message me if you don't want to put that out here. But I ran different quotes based on different ages, male, female, with some different numbers. So if you're interested in term life insurance and you want to take advantage of the low rates now, go ahead and private message me, and we'll talk on the phone, figure out what needs you have, and I'm sure that we can find a plan and a carrier that fits your needs and a rate that fits your needs as well. So that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you missed any of this, go ahead and rewatch it back, and I'd be happy to run some quotes for you guys. Hope you guys have a great day.